What do you make of the newest US-wide movement that has emerged just in the past year, led by and comprised primarily by people of color in communities that have seen not just widespread poverty, but police violence? I'm, of course, talking about the Black Lives Matter campaigns that were sparked in Ferguson, led primarily by African Americans and many women especially, also relying heavily on online communications and some of the tools that now the very centralized corporate networks offer, such as Facebook and Twitter, but maybe making as good use of them as possible. What do you make of those, and are those a more sort of authentic expression of the cyber left that you are heartened by?
I'm definitely heartened by them. I think it's a great development. Obviously the precursor to these developments is heartbreaking, but what we've seen in the Black Lives Matter movement is people taking leadership from the struggle on the ground. So people of color, women, African Americans, using the internet to accelerate that struggle, but keeping the movement, one, building institutions. So there's a lot of institutional development we see in this stage, but two, keeping the movement grounded in and led by those most oppressed by racism, police brutality, etc. So I think it's a great development, and in many ways they're picking up and taking what is most exciting about the cyber left and marrying it to logic and local struggle that gives it great possibility.
And then finally, Todd, is there a contradiction in what I mentioned, which is that these struggles are increasingly left to rely on the Facebooks and the Twitters that, of course, can quite dangerously cut off the ties that we build?
Yeah, there's definitely a danger to this, and it's one of the, I think, tensions that indie media brought to the fore. They were very careful about keeping and maintaining their own servers, and there's a history there of FBI raids and states going after indie media servers. And they did that because they wanted independence from corporate platforms. And that leads to a hard road in what they built. I think contemporary movements, or Black Lives Matter, for instance, but also the Arab uprisings, and I think Occupy as well, have utilized corporate platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and it's been to their advantage thus far. But in the long term, one has to question whether there are going to be some concerns, issues, or problems that emerge if we don't figure out independent platforms that do some of this work.